Brett Keane. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Damn it.
Brett off the brain. Brett off the brain. Get off my brain.
Brett Keane.
We were having a conversation about a certain manatee right before we started shooting. We were trying to get Brett off the brain, but he's still there. It takes a while to dislodge him.
Yeah, he's a slow process.
But I think we can move. I think we can move past it.
Get Brett off your brain.
It's a meditative process to push the manatee away.
They don't want you to push it away. They're like, yeah,
cover it. It's like
embrace the manatee.
Hey, everything we already said is everything there pretty much is to say until the day that Well, we'll fucking talk about that maybe one of these years.
One of these days.
But not today.
Today is not the day.
FBI warns of foreign actors trying to sow discord in the wake of mass shootings.
Oh, shit.
Now, my reaction to this is the little exchange that happened earlier when I was looking this up. I'm like, I don't really think we need foreign actors to sow discord. And Paul's like, what they do? And I guess that's true.
They definitely do.
Yeah, they do. No, they definitely do.
I mean, there's some pretty solid evidence that foreign entities.
It's beyond pretty solid. It's 100% concrete that Russia has.
Well, not just Russia, but China's doing it. Probably some other countries too. I don't know if is Canada doing it. Canada doing it?
I'm sure every country.
I'd be doing it if I was Canada.
Every country takes advantage of every loophole they can to get power and dissent in this country, guaranteed.
So let's see. Houses of worship remain a vulnerable target for attacks, and foreign entities could be looking to sow discord using the internet, an FBI official warned at a security event with law enforcement officials and faith leaders this week. The official, who spoke on the condition of anonymity, urged faith leaders to have a share information. To have a share information. That doesn't make sense.
Robot.
With U.S. authorities and have a strategic perspective in thinking about security. You need to be thinking about this for the next 6 months. You need to be thinking about this for the next year.
Thinking about what?
What are the consequences of going to conflict with Iran and
Think
Hezbollah?
about what happened.
Those actors of interest here. So basically they're saying, like, hey, with this, with the conflict with Iran heating up,
look at this next line.
There's going to be a lot of crazy shit. You need to be thinking about that right
now.
now.
Oh, my God.
Thinking about what?
What is this fucking...
You need to be thinking.
This article reads like a dystopian nightmare coverage of a war that's about to break out. It's just like...
Paul, you need to think.
Double speak.
Paul, are you thinking
You
about...
need to be thinking about this, and you need to be thinking about this, and you need to be thinking about that, and you need to be thinking about it right now.
Paul, are you thinking? Are you thinking about it, Paul?
I guess I am. What is it?
CJ?
It, Paul. What's Scotty?
I want to just go.
What?
This image right here, dude.
What about it?
Look how vulnerable this church is. Are you
It's
thinking
so
about
vulnerable. So
Vulnerable?
Look at it.
that? Look at how vulnerable it is.
You could easily shoot that church.
Soft target there, Paul.
It's just a house. You can
Soft
shoot any house.
target.
Clearly, foreign disinformation efforts are intended to do more than interfere in our election. John Cohen, the former Undersecretary of the Department of Homeland Security and ABC contributor, said in an interview after the event. They are seeking to inspire violent attacks in the United States. On Wednesday, the Department of Justice announced that the arrest of a Syrian refugee on allegations he wanted to bomb a church in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And this week, the community at Charleston, South Carolina, is remembering the 9 African-American parishioners murdered at the Emmanuel AME Church 4 years ago. The report by Robert Mueller, the special counsel, detailed how Russians sowed discord by using social media during the 2016 presidential election and how the Russia-based internet research agency used Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram while adopting identities claiming to be Americans. The U.S. Department of Justice brought charges against the Internet Research Agency in 2018. This article is all over the fucking place.
It is one of those articles that is very obviously written by a machine.
Yeah, this is not... no, it's Luke Barr.
Well, then Luke Barr writes like a fucking
Let's see if that's an
lunatic.
actual person. I can't... There's no proof that this is an actual human being.
Luke Barr is a robot.
But
It's
if he
Luke
is,
Barr.
he's a strange one. Because this article is a mess. I mean, first of all, this sentence doesn't make sense. Urged faith leaders to have a share information.
This is a nothing article. This
That's
is just
garbage.
like,
It doesn't say anything. It doesn't mean anything.
It just sounds like it was cobbled together by an AI.
it's a paranoia article. That's all it is. This is just to fucking make people more paranoid that some bad thing's going to happen.
Well, I
Hey
mean, it's
guys,
packaging-
vague insinuation of things that might happen and
It's
be
not
prepared.
even that. It's just like a repackaging of something that has already been covered. Like, it's widely known that Russia did this. You know what I mean? So it's like repackaging it as what else will happen, and it's like
Fake
everybody's
news.
already thinking of that.
Fake news poll.
I hate this. Fuck you, Luke Barr, you robotic piece of shit.
I am
Don't
Luke Barr.
Don't you like me, Paul?
Set Luke Barr to reignite fears of various foreign factions.
Foreigner bad. My church under attack bad. FBI says
Church,
bad.
good. Foreigner, bad. Florida executives head to prison for selling subpar body armor to U.S. troops.
Man, what? How fucked up do you gotta be to like undercut the troops, dude?
Right, especially in America,
Right.
where people fucking jerk off to the troops.
But I mean, even if you're not one of those people, and I'm not, and it's your job to sell body
Right.
armor, and you know it's shit, and you're gonna give it to somebody's kid that's going overseas to get shot at.
Let's think about how fucking bad something has to be in America for an executive to go to prison.
Yes.
I mean,
And it's just 2 words. Lowest bidder. Lowest bidder. I think this guy had the lowest bid. Now we know.
the owner and top executive of Boynton Beach based security products firm, security-based products firm, have been sentenced to less than a year in prison after being convicted of charges of selling subpar body armor to the U.S. government. Dan Thomas Lounsbury Jr., owner of Tactical Products Group, was sentenced to 10 months in prison last week for selling the government $3,500 worth of body armor that federal prosecutors said put troops in danger. So that's a pretty small amount of body armor.
You know who needs to be prosecuted for this, honestly, in addition to Thomas Lounsbury Jr.?
Who's that?
The fucking whoever the military officials were that made this purchase and allowed this body armor to ever be put on a troop. Because let me tell you something, dude. If we're going to operate in a system where we're going to take young people and send them all over the goddamn world to get shot at and shoot at people, if we're going to live in that kind of society, we damn well better make sure we're putting state-of-the-art armor on these people.
Yeah.
Of course we're not.
And whoever authorized the purchase and use of this substandard body armor is just as culpable as the one that sold it. The military's got no excuse. You can test this shit.
Yeah,
Give us a
could.
test piece of armor. Let me fire some rounds at it. Oh, it's substandard. Fuck off. That's all it would have took.
Well, the troops are the prop to get the money for the defense industry. Like, they don't actually give a fuck about the troops. Look at the VA system. There was an article, I don't know if we pulled this one, but there's 3 whistleblowers that the VA is trying to crack down on. They're fucking whistleblowing, like the fact that they canceled a bunch of tests, they didn't give people treatment. They don't give a fuck about these troops. They never have.
That's just the double-edged sword of disgustingness of militarism, because everybody, all militarists love war, but they don't love a wounded soldier. They don't love a soldier enough to make sure he's got state-of-the-art body armor when he goes out there so he can come home to his family.
Yeah, they don't care.
They want to cut corners on that. They just like watching it from afar. Pussies, chicken hawks. And that's how this ends up happening.
Yeah. And 10 months only, so.
Oh, yeah.
Really.
Oh, that slap. Oh, my wrist. Oh, it hurt so bad.
Obviously, with this low amount of body armor, this is not a major contractor. I don't even know why the government was bothering buying
such a
this
small
low
lot
amount of
too.
body armor.
Like, what do you think? Like those pieces of armor probably cost $500 or $600 a piece. So what is it like? The government just decided to subcontract 20 suits of body armor from a shitty little. Why? Don't they have a fucking supplier of this shit that they go to that they know makes a standard product that they've tested?
Yeah, you'd think so.
Why did this corner get cut? And what's the name of the military official involved in it that put these troops in danger as well?
They have to have an open bidding process. So the case we're referring to here says they sold them 10 suits of armor.
Okay. So they paid that for 10 suits. Then they found out they were substandard.
What the fuck?
Yes.
Such a weird system.
How is that a system that makes any motherfucking sense?
And it's pretty much the same system we've had since the beginning of our country.
Aren't we supposed to put our troops in the best fucking equipment possible, not the cheapest?
Let's see if this is if this offers any more
I mean,
information.
if we're talking about what we've done in the past, then the answer is no.
We owe that to them at the very least. If we're going to send people over to get shot at, we live in a country that can produce high-quality, standard body armor that'll protect them reasonably from that. We owe that to them. Why are we low-bidding shit for our military, man?
Because it's cheaper.
Here we go. By chance, do you have anything a little cheaper? Lopez.
Oh my fucking God.
One body armor supplier in an email shared with Lounsbury, according to the indictment.
There's the guy that needs to go to jail too. Lopez Munoz. Wherever he is in the command structure. Just throw him in a fucking military prison.
Budget is a big deal on this requirement, more so than the exact plate. But prosecutors said providing the exact plates in the bulletproof vest was key. The government specifically wanted armor that was designed to stop 30 caliber steel core armor piercing bullets fired from a rifle, and made it clear no substitutions would be allowed, prosecutors wrote.
Yeah, they probably wanted the I'm not sure what the top line is now, but the people I know that had these kind of flak jackets, these bulletproof vests, they had ceramic plates.
Lounsbury and Lopez Munez both knew that these plates would be used to protect government personnel. The prosecutors wrote, the consequences of a failure of body armor is death or serious bodily injury.
Well, of course, yeah.
Well, no shit.
If they're hit with small arms fire, like what the fuck else do you think is going to happen?
So the government asked these dudes for fucking something that could stop a 30 cal from a rifle, and they gave them something that probably couldn't fucking
stop a handgun.
Yeah, you know, so they
Great.
these
couldn't
little
stop
pieces of
fucking shit, dude.
Couldn't stop a fucking BB.
These motherfuckers, dude.
Crazy shit. Hey, Paul, did you see I changed? They put up some lame shit, but I changed it over here. You see
What
this?
did you do?
It originally said Paul triggered by it, and then I looked and read the first comment. They're like, "That's not triggered. He annihilated him." I'm like, "Yeah, I agree." So I changed it. I made you and Ben Shapiro.
Yeah.
You're looking at him with contempt, and I changed the title to "Paul's ego literally throws Ben Shapiro screaming into an active volcano of logic."
Well, that's definitely in his style.
Yeah, so that's why I changed it.
Hey, I noticed our Tim Allen episode is back.
Yeah, that's cool.
Oh,
it comes and goes,
again?
that Tim Allen
Sometimes
one, doesn't
Netflix is okay with us, and they're like, you can have the episode up. Then other times Netflix goes, no, you're bad. Episode gone.
I think now that YouTube demonetizes, they're just like, do what you want. We don't care.
That's cool with us.
Just do what you want.
Do what you fucking want. Hey, Scotty.
I'm not falling for it, TJ.
Scotty. UFOs, man. Dee 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 dee.
I want to believe.
I do too. I did a whole episode trying to make you guys believe, but we just
failed.
Yeah, I mean the evidence is just not that good. But maybe this new evidence will be the fucking thing that crosses the line. So spike in UFO sightings sparks major government response. A spike in UFO sightings by U.S. Navy pilots has prompted Pentagon officials to brief the U.S. president and other senior politicians about the encounters.
Can you imagine that fucking conversation? The UFO conversation with Trump?
President Donald Trump confirmed he had received the briefings earlier this week. So they actually did that.
Look,
they sat down with Trump and they're like, UFOs. And he's
TJ?
like, all right. Imagine if first contact happens under Trump, dude.
No, dude. Stay away.
Take us to your leader.
It's like, please no.
Gentlemen, we are at the precipice, TJ. The AI revolution is here. Quantum computing, TJ. We're going to have it all. The aliens are now observing us more closely. We have the clearest evidence we've had. They're briefing the president. If the president's going to respond, we have to start making weapons, TJ. Are we going to be taken over by aliens? The globalist nightmare is going to be here, guys. Get out of here. The aliens are going to enslave us.
And on Wednesday, 3 more U.S. senators received the classified briefing, including Mark Warner, who is vice chairman of the powerful Senate Intelligence Committee. It follows an increasing number of sightings by FA-18 pilots from Naval Air Station Oceana in Virginia. That spike prompted. That doesn't make sense. The spike prompted the U.S. Navy to introduce new reporting procedures for its pilots in April so it can more effectively track the sightings.
The fucking aliens are coming, dude. Independence Day, any minute now.
Dude, what if this is just like new Russian spy plane technology that we don't know about?
This is aliens, Paul.
We better get Will Smith on this shit fast.
It's the Ruskies, dude.
It's aliens.
The Ruskies have invented some weird fucking spy plane, and they're watching everything we're doing.
You think Putin's at the controls?
Putin's in the fucking UFO.
Yeah, he's in the UFO just walking.
Like, das ist gut, yeah. Show me the little Americans. Yep, it's happening. He's probably looking in here right now.
You think so?
Yep.
You think he's in this one?
Putin is probably hovering in that fucking ship right there over this place right now, listening to this and laughing heartily.
Maybe he's not laughing. Maybe he's like, oh, they onto me. No.
No, he doesn't, because he knows we can't do shit about it.
He's like, ha ha ha.
They can do
They are powerless to do anything to stop me.
New Russian prototype saucer flying machine is invincible.
I love it. You disappoint me, Dmitry. Colorado STEM school shooter targeted kids over gender taunts, police said. Newly unsealed police records reveal an alleged motive and other details in the May 7th school shooting that killed 18-year-old Kendrick Castillo. You guys remember this one? It's not one of the bigger shootings.
Unfortunately, this one has fled my memory.
Yeah,
Yeah.
don't remember it.
But one of the two high school students accused of opening fire at STEM School Highlands Ranch near Denver in May, killing an 18-year-old. Yeah, so you got to have at least 50 victims to even get America to blink anymore.
Oh, you only killed one. Sorry.
Only killed one person? Meh. Allegedly told police he targeted students who made fun of his gender identity and been planning to shooting the school for a few weeks. Court documents released Thursday shed new details on the May 7th shooting that killed Kendrick Castillo, 18, who had been called a hero for acting with others to stop one of the shooters at the STEM school, which is in a community south of Denver. Devin Erickson, 18, and Alec McKinney, 16, who, according to the documents, told police he was transitioning and whose attorney says prefers male pronouns, have been charged with more than 40 counts, including murder and attempted murder. Prosecutors have said both are being tried as adults. Probable cause documents released Thursday are redacted and include only Erickson's name, but officials have said Erickson and McKinney are the only people charged in the shooting. The documents portray the second suspect, not Erickson, as the person who planned the attack. So, this is basically SJW's gone wild, dude.
Yeah.
They decided,
You're not using my pronouns.
You're going to fucking respect my pronouns, and if you don't, you're going to respect my bullets. But then they only killed one person, so,
Yeah, so SJWs are not that good at being mass murderers.
And it's the same kind of thing when the woman fucking attacked YouTube,
Yeah, the
Didn't
YouTube
even kill
shooter.
nobody. It's like, these shooters, man, some of them, if you don't know how to shoot, maybe don't be a shooter. Learn how to build a bomb or something.
Every time I see a story like this, I'm less and less worried about the SJW revolution because there's it's a fucking paper tiger, dude. They can kill one person. I mean, I'm obviously sad that they killed anybody over something so ridiculous, but I mean, they're not very effective. I mean, the fucking Las Vegas shooter was that crazy motherfucker killed fucking 40 people.
Yeah, and he did that for redacted.
Yeah, for
we don't
reasons.
we're not even allowed to speculate about his motives. We don't know what the
Redacted.
fuck happened.
He killed them because he did.
I want to know what the motive for bringing a laptop without a hard drive into the
Russian
room
agents,
was.
Paul.
What was
Russian
that about?
agents.
Yeah, I don't think there was anything on that hard drive, Paul. I wouldn't
Yeah, there
worry
was
about it.
nothing important on that hard drive.
I wouldn't worry about that.
Yeah.
I wouldn't worry about how media coverage of that event just totally dissolved, even though it was
evaporated.
Even though it was one of the most violent shootings. I think it was
most.
wasn't the highest. It was the most.
It is.
the
Still
highest
is.
death count of a shooting in American history.
Yep.
And yet one
just,
that's barely
disappeared.
talked about. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, just evaporated from the national consciousness. Nobody really covers it anymore.
I mean, think about this. Let's just think about this. In a non-war zone in Las Vegas, a guy knocked the window out of his hotel room and fired on a fucking crowd of
With
people.
a light machine gun.
With a light machine gun, and the official story is he was crazy. And he killed himself.
Yeah,
The
we don't-
end.
we don't know anything.
Fired thousands of rounds, tens of thousands of rounds into a huge crowd of people. And then set up a weird surveillance system around his room only to kill himself and leave behind a laptop with no fucking
no
hard drive in it.
Nothing.
No manifesto. No nothing.
Yeah, where are the surveillance records of who was going in and out of his room, who or his contacts or anything else? We have all this information on people now that we can gather all this data.
But not on that story.
And there's just nothing. It's just a big, we don't know.
But there's nothing suspicious about that.
And he could have gotten away with it.
Let me tell you guys what I mean. I think we've covered it before. He was a spook. That's why it disappeared.
Oh, of course.
He was a spook. He was working for the fucking CIA, probably running drugs or guns or some shit to South America. He was a pilot who had a bunch of equipment on his plane to evade radar, which is not uncommon for pilots, but I mean, it's very uncommon for pilots to go to Las Vegas and perpetrate a sophisticated, well-planned shooting like the one that went down.
I mean, what he did was and we've all said it before. Like most of these mass shooters, you can tell it's like a revenge base. They know they're just pissed off.
Yep.
And it's not really well planned out. That was a very planned out.
Oh yeah, he knew exactly what he was doing, and it got swept under the rug.
And he could have escaped. We even said that. It's like the police didn't arrive where his location for like an hour.
Yep.
He could have walked out of the building like normal. Like, oh, I'm afraid. Please help me. Let me get out of here. Oh, I'm on a plane. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
Why didn't he? Just no answers.
No.
You don't need no answer, Scotty. You don't need no fucking.
I mean, there's videos of this event, dude, and it's just insane. It's just people getting picked off. It's just.
I mean, it was fucking total chaos, a total bloodbath. Like TJ said, the most insane mass shooting in American history. And I'm not saying that these other, like the school shootings and stuff, don't deserve, but like it seems like this shooting here has disappeared behind these other shootings that had way lower body counts, were way less destructive in terms of lives lost and stuff.
Yeah.
And the information that's available about this one, they're just.
Do you remember the name of the shooter?
No.
No, I don't either.
I mean, he was never a national name. They released his name. I remember reading it at some point.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I remember reading
but
it
he's
at the time.
never invoked when people go like Dylan Roof and this, that,
Eric
and the other
Harris,
thing. You know what I mean?
Dylan Klebold,
Right.
Cho Sung Hui, fucking whatever the fuck else.
You never hear his name come up in that. There was never any fucking, as far as I know, resolution to why he did this or how he did it or why things are weird. It just all disappeared. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. Just this shooting, of all the shootings, to just disappear from the national consciousness. Really fucking bizarre.
The most fucking violent and tragic and death-inducing shooting in American history on our soil, and nothing. Poof.
No insight into the motive or anything.
And what's crazy too is that like there's more mass shootings, but there's overall less murders. Yeah. And it's like, and we've had so many. There's like that big one in Orlando. That guy, fucking the Muslim radical dude,
Pulse nightclub, yeah.
Yeah, Pulse nightclub. He killed like about 50 people.
Mm-hmm.
That was a bad one.
We have this one. I don't know how many people were killed with this one, but I know a ton of people were wounded and injured.
I mean, I hate to get more conspiratorial than I've already gotten by saying he was probably a government agent, or at least at some point worked for the CIA or with them. But
especially watch out with conspiracy now.
I mean, this one reeks of like false flag to me. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we need some kind of shooting to distract from our operations over here, or to galvanize the national consciousness behind disarmament or gun control. Let's set this up. Let's fucking just pick off a bunch of fucking people.
I mean,
sweep it under the rug, blame it on some crazy guy.
The scary thing about all of this is that we just live in like a post-truth world, and you know it. And the thing is that maybe what you're saying is far-fetched and not true at all,
right?
But maybe it isn't. And the problem is we just don't really know at this point.
Especially when it comes to this shooting. Like, there's just no story at all.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know that I don't know if I have any beliefs about it or whatever.
I don't know. I just don't know.
But my thing is, like, when we know so little about why it happened, and it seems like it's being swept under the rug in the national consciousness.
This is a clear cover.
Like, it just it invites you to engage in that kind of speculation.
It's like the problem is it's now we're just almost supposed to believe this narrative that this guy just went and did this.
He's just a nut. He's just crazy nut. Just showed up, shot a bunch of people, and that's it.
He had a coordinated attack. And that's it. And it's like, how can we believe a guy who's a multimillionaire has all? It's like he didn't fit the MO of all these other people.
Right.
He doesn't have. There's no. I don't know, man. The hard thing about this is like, we just don't have the information, and that's why it leads to shit like this idle speculation where we have no fucking clue.
And that's crazy, because like I've been recently, like, as I go to sleep, watching these interrogation videos and shit. We know everything about that fucking guy, whatever his name was, that killed his family in 2018. Like every detail. Yeah, the Chris Watts case. Yeah. We know every detail about how that went down, and it's still in the national consciousness. A year later, people are talking about the tragedy of those little kids and that wife being killed the way they were.
Yeah.
They know every detail of his life. I've personally seen screenshots of text messages from his phone, just where he's talking to his, you know what I mean? And this dude here that killed how many people? I don't even remember what the body count of this was.
Can you look that up, TJ?
Yeah.
This dude here that perpetrated the worst mass shooting in American history, I can't even remember his name.
59.
59 people.
Including the perpetrator. And then 851 non-fatal injuries, 422 by gunfire. So a huge amount of people
I
shot.
mean, yeah, just hitting by
This is
shrapnel,
not like
ricochets.
by a fucking country mile the worst shooting.
Yeah.
But most of them, I mean, maybe the Pulse nightclub is close.
I mean, he turned a downtown area packed with people into a war zone for like 20 minutes.
Yeah. Probably longer than that.
And just to think, I mean, just to think that you could be at a festival or a concert or someplace, and it just takes one person.
And his name was
do that.
Stephen Paddock.
Yep.
And
And question mark.
we don't really know much about him. We don't know anything about his motive.
I wonder if anyone's written any books about this event or anything that we maybe
probably not
gleaned
yet.
Something.
I remember that there was some weirdness really early on when the media was still covering this about his wife leaving the country the day afterwards,
That
and then they
was weird.
found her and brought her back and questioned her, and then that just disappeared.
And then nothing.
And then there was
happened
something
with
about them pulling his brother in for questioning. That disappeared.
Everything about
who
it
knows?
disappeared.
Who knows?
I think if we can find some books or something, I think we should just do an episode on it, man, because it's just so strange.
In
and see what we
addition,
could just.
so here's a
Okay.
little brief section about the investigation.
All right.
In addition to the firearms and accessories found in Paddock's hotel room, there was a note that included handwritten calculations about where he needed to aim to maximize his accuracy. The note contained the actual distance to the targets, his own elevation, bullet trajectory relative to the line of fire. There was also a number of laptops in the suite, one of which was missing a hard drive. Computer forensics discovered hundreds of images of child pornography on the laptops. On October 25th, 2017, his brother Bruce was arrested in North Hollywood, California on charges possessing over 600 child pornography images.
Wow.
Ammonium nitrate, often used in improvised explosive devices, was found in the trunk of his car, along with 1,600 rounds of ammunition and 50 pounds of tannerite, a binary explosive used to make explosive targets for gun ranges. However, investigators clarified that while Paddock had nefarious intent with the material, he did not appear to have assembled an explosive device. An additional 19 firearms were found at his home. According to police, Paddock acted alone. His motive remains unknown. The Islamic State of Iraq and Levant claimed responsibility, but United States law enforcement officials have given no evidence of a connection.
They
between
claim
Paddock and
responsibility
ISIL.
for every big thing.
Yeah, of course. When the power grid went out, a few.
Right.
Yeah,
It was
whatever.
them.
They claim everything. There has been some discussion around brain pathology, initially thought to be benign as a possible contributor. Paddock's remains were sent to Stanford University to receive a more extensive analysis of his brain. The Stanford pathologist found no abnormalities present within the brain. Investigators believe he was obsessed with cleanliness and possibly had bipolar disorder. Although a doctor did offer him antidepressants, he only accepted anxiety medication. The doctors also described Paddock as odd, showing little emotion. Psychologists ex post facto have noted a distinct similarity between Paddock's demeanor and the psychological construct alexithymia, which might have modulated his decision to conduct the shooting, given its association with various mass murderers throughout history. It was reported that he was fearful of medication and often refused to take it. And I don't know what alexithymia is.
Right.
It looks like it's a subclinical inability to identify and describe emotions in the self. The core characteristics are dysfunction in emotional awareness, social attachment, and interpersonal relating. So
None of
basically,
this gives us any kind
Doesn't
of
tell
insight
it-
into
doesn't
why
tell
he
us why he
shot
shot
all
these
those people.
people.
No.
Doesn't tell us why he was.
And
Doesn't-
I'm
doesn't-
telling you, dude.
It really seems like he was planning something bigger even than what he did.
And here's
based on the fact that he had so many guns, so many explosives,
here's the question
that he
too.
had monitoring in the hallway to make it,
Right.
He was obviously preparing for some sort of
Why would he bring his
conflict.
entire collection of child pornography with him to do
right
this?
to go do
Yeah.
a shooting.
See the invocation of that, and whatever if he had it, it's illegal, and he should whatever.
well, he's dead now,
Right, but I mean, like, it's obviously a bad thing, and if it happened, it's a bad thing. But I'm just saying that, like, when that appears in a story like this, that this dude just had 8 laptops filled with child porn,
and one of them just missing a hard drive. Where'd the hard drive go?
Suspiciously missing a hard drive and a bunch of ammunition, and he just perpetrated this. I don't know, man. It just makes it sound like they're trying to make him out to be the biggest monster they possibly can.
There was something that looked like it was a big note that was written, and maybe it was what they're talking about here, where he was trying to calculate
Distances
the
and shit.
distances and how he needed to aim and all this stuff. But it didn't really look like that, and nothing's ever manifested of it, you know? So we've never seen, like, what did this note say? We've never seen a screenshot of the note. We've never seen any text communications. We've never heard what happened with his wife. At least I haven't heard what happened with his wife.
And saying what you found on all of his hard drives on the other 8 laptops that were, whatever laptops that were in the room was child porn is a great cover for not showing anybody anything that's on it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah, well, it was he just had a stack of laptops filled with child porn and a bunch of machine guns. It's like, what?
That's all the motive you need.
Okay.
You're just a real bad guy, just a real prick. Emotional problems.
Well, it sounds like
bipolar, alexithymia. He's got everything.
it sounds like it needs to be an episode of Deep Fat Fried itself.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about it like probably 3 or 4 times. It's probably just on the next time we do an episode. Then
I'm afraid to do an episode on it. I don't want the spooks coming after me. You know what I mean?
You're coming, Paul. And your host coming for you, the Seagulls.
Oh, God.
Seagulls keep couple hostage in their home for 6 days by attacking them every time they leave the house. The Seagulls are coming.
Oh, my God.
Nesting seagulls kept a couple hostage in their own home for 6 days by attacking them every time they tried to leave their house. Roy and Brenda Pickard, 71. Excuse me. Fuck. I'm allergic.
It's not TJ. Better be careful, TJ.
Oh, shit. No, the seagulls! Ah!
They're coming.
No!
They're coming.
So Brenda and Roy said they were constantly confronted by 2 squawking adult seagulls. 2?
2?
Come on.
Get your cane.
After you get 2 chicks.
Watch out, TJ.
So Mr.
These are
Pickard,
adult
77, was once so viciously attacked he ended up with a bloody head wound and needed hospital treatment. Speaking of how difficult it has been to complete a simple task while stranded inside, Mr. Pickard from Knot End near Morecambe Bay said, "The whole thing has been terrible." Yeah, I mean, I got that. I've not been able to go out the front door. If I try to go out the door, the 2 adult birds are right there, and I've got no chance. It's genuinely frightening.
Oh, God. It's about this old man opening his
That's
door.
so sad.
The seagulls just right
They're
there.
just waiting for him.
Oh, no, why? He added, "My wife isn't well or very mobile at the moment,
Oh,
so
man.
we're relying
That's
on me to
horrible.
get out."
They don't have a phone they can call anybody to
Well,
help?
I mean, someone showed up to write this article.
What country
so-
was this? Is it?
This is a Great Britain.
Oh, Great Britain. Okay.
Yeah, it's in Lancaster.
Thankfully,
I mean, Lancastershire.
Or Lancashire.
Lancashire Blügen Blagen.
What, are they finished now?
I don't know. Thankfully, we have an integrated garage, and I can get into it from the kitchen, open the garage door, and drive out to get our shopping. But I have to leave the garage door open, which isn't ideal. Wire Council said the gulls are herring gulls and are protected once nesting, which means the couple has limited solutions available.
Yeah, it's like the episode of Family Guy where the bird.
Oh,
just
hail to the
disappeared.
fuck no. So this old man has to sneak out of his garage every fucking day because he can't take the gulls out?
Yeah, a Wire Council spokesman said, "We sympathize with Mr. Pickard's situation. Seagulls can be troublesome, particularly when nesting. We have visited Mr. Pickard to assess the situation and have given advice on how he can deal with the gulls. For
Yeah.
now, a solution is in place which will enable Mr. Pickard to take his wife to her private appointment. The gulls in question are herring gulls and are protected once nesting, so there are limited solutions available. We advise residents who have a problem with seagulls to bird-proof their properties prior to the
Fuck
breeding
that, dude.
season."
Fuck that. You know what?
Not in America.
I got a fucking solution, and that's how we fucking handle this if it was the goddamn good old US of A. It's called a fucking shotgun and some bird shot. Got a seagull problem? I'll take care
Not
of it.
for long.
Look, these motherfuckers are having a problem. Send me with a shotgun over there. I'll fucking take care of the problem in about 2 minutes.
You don't even need that. You just need a broom. Just take a broom and whack these motherfuckers.
No, I wanna
break their eggs.
Look,
They'll go on and
I want
fucking
to
go somewhere
permanently
else.
solve the problem, Paul. These are bad goals.
Attacking some old man.
Let's see what the fucking. I want to know what the penalty is for fucking with them.
Yeah, what happens if I whack one of these motherfuckers for fucking with this
Goals
old man?
and the law.
Oh, shit.
I'm trying to see if there's a.
Paul's going to get 15 years in a British
general
prison.
licenses.
It's worth it. This poor old fucking man.
Don't worry, dude. It's not like real prison, dude.
Yeah,
I know. It's British prison.
I
It's-
don't see. I don't see the penalty.
Yeah, it's probably just some fucking fine or some shit.
Yeah.
All right, old man. I tell you what. I'm saving up money. I'm gonna come to Lancaster, and I'm gonna beat the shit out of one of these gulls with a broom for you. Okay? I'll take the rap.
Stackenblugen.
I'll take the rap. That one fucking gull getting knocked off your roof and it's with its eggs ain't gonna kill the fucking protected seagull. Poor old man.
Trump's story on why he stopped a military strike against Iran at the last minute doesn't add up, experts say.
That's crazy.
Shocking.
I wonder
Shocking.
a Donald Trump statement and story that doesn't add up. I don't know.
It's unusual. President Donald Trump tweeted Friday morning that he called off a military strike against Iran 10 minutes before it was set to go over concerns about casualty estimates and proportionality. Experts raised concerns about the process leading up to the ultimately halted strike if Trump's decision was indeed based on last-minute information about civilian casualties. It's about as far from normal as you can get, said Ned Price, a former National Security Council spokesperson under President Barack Obama, who said the Pentagon normally informs the president of potential civilian casualties at the beginning of briefings. Yeah, but here's the thing. He probably didn't really pay attention to that.
People will die,
I mean, this is Trump we're talking about.
I've got a golf game to get to.
He's probably just like, yeah, attack Iran. And then by some miracle at the last minute, he's like, wait a minute. How many people are we about to kill? 150. That's too much.
Holy cannolis.
Too much. Don't do it. Here's Trump's tweet. We were cocked and loaded. Tasty. To retaliate last night on 3 different sites. That's not the proper pronunciation. That's not right.
No,
that's wrong.
The sites.
That should be
Sites to behold.
That should be SITES, but okay.
When you asked,
It's a wonderful sight.
When I asked how many will die,
No question mark on that.
Yeah, it's not even, and it's not in quotes either.
Right.
150 people, sir, was the answer from a general. 10 minutes before the strike, I stopped it. He wrote, adding that the loss of life would not be proportional to Monday's attack on a U.S. drone. Well, yeah.
no shit.
I'm glad that he decided that under whatever circumstance it happened because he's right. But
You have to remember, though, now the media loves to warmonger, though. So when Trump doesn't attack somebody, then,
I know.
then
This is when
suddenly
they-
the left-wing media is like, oh, wait a minute. Why
This is when
do we
they-
bomb Iran?
This is when they hate him most of all. In fact, if he had bombed Iran, they'd probably be talking about how it was like one of his finest moments as the president.
Oh, I'm sure.
He's a fine presidential moment. He defended the United States by attacking Iran.
See, Grandpa Trump knows that if he drops bombs on Iran, they won't give him any ice cream and cake when he goes to visit.
Right. And
You know
not
what I
only
mean?
that, but he probably remembered that John McCain, his enemy, wanted to bomb Iran. Remember
Oh, that's
that?
true.
Yeah, what
So-
if John-
Bomb Iran.
That's what it was. They were in that situation room like, Mr. President, what did John McCain think about Iran? Oh, he wanted it bombed. Stop. Call off.
Stop the attack.
Stop it.
I'm fine with that.
Anything John McCain wanted, I don't want. But many experts are raising concerns. They're concerned trolling the president, ladies and gentlemen, about Trump's recounting, saying that typically a concept of operations or con ops for any type of military action would include discussion of casualty estimates early in the process. Yeah, but it's Trump. It's Trump.
Give
Right.
Trump a picture book of every operation.
Do you know how,
Like, here's the dead bodies. That's a lot of dead bodies.
Connect the dots to reveal the shape of Iran.
1 dead body, 2 dead bodies, 3 dead bodies. Sam Vinograd, the senior advisor to the National Security Advisor. Wow. Senior advisor to the National Security Advisor.
Who's
A lot of
his senior
advice.
advisor?
Jesus,
I,
yeah.
want, I want that bullshit job.
Dude, I want to be the junior advisor to the senior advisor to the National Security Advisor.
You're shooting pretty high there, TJ.
I know, isn't that, yeah. Under President Barack Obama, wow, what a fucking, I used to be the fucking advisor to an advisor to an advisor to an advisor. Anyway, he tweeted Friday that having been part of military con ops briefings, they always include an assessment of casualties on both sides at the front end. Sure, I'm sure they do. I'm sure you're right. But once again, we're dealing
It's
with
Trump.
we're dealing with a guy that has the attention span of a fucking gnat.
That's generous.
I mean,
If that.
I mean, we're talking about Grandpa Trump here.
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
You could have told him at the beginning the casualties are going to be 11 billion. And then then he asks you fucking 10 minutes later, how many casualties? And you're like 6. And he's like, don't do it. Too many.
Yeah.
I mean, like, you just don't know with this guy. He's Trump, dude. What do you want? What do you fucking want? Ugh. So I guess Scotty has some. Scotty drew my attention to this clip here. This is Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, Tucker Carlson tonight.
Good evening and welcome to Tucker Carlson Tonight. Just 24 hours ago, this country stood on the brink of cataclysm after weeks of slow.
I mean, that's a little bit of an
The brink of cataclysm, TJ.
I don't think that.
It's a little charged.
I mean, it's a bad. Like, look, I don't want us to go to war with Iran, and I think it would be a disaster, but it's not a cataclysm, at least not for us.
We would win, TJ. We'd win bigly and hugely. And we'd win again.
Single vote from the Congress, the United States came within minutes of war with Iran. In response to the destruction of an unmanned drone, American forces nearly launched an airstrike on Iranian targets. According to some reports, our planes were literally in the air. But in the end, it didn't happen. The president pulled back. This morning, he explained why.
They came and they said, sir, we're ready to go. We'd like a decision. I said, I want to know something before you go. How many people will be killed? In this case, Iranians. I said, how many people are going to be killed? Sir, I'd like to get back to you on that. Great people, these generals. They said, came back, said, sir, approximately 150. And I thought about it for a second. I said, you know what? They shot down an unmanned drone, plane, whatever you want to call it.
A drone!
And here we are sitting with 150 dead people that would have taken place probably within a half an hour after I said go ahead. Yeah. And I didn't like it. I didn't think it was proportionate.
I would have to agree with that.
Probably.
Good going, Grandpa Trump.
Yeah,
Good reasoning.
Maybe your Grandpa Trump strategy's working, Paul.
Yeah. Send him, you know what? Send him on a nice retreat to fucking Holland and give him Bavarian chocolate for weeks on end.
Yeah, let him wear lederhosen. Tell him it looks good on him.
Yeah.
Do what you want.
No, I think you guys are really more than this. Gonna like the next part when he starts talking about John Bolton.
Oh my God! Look. So let me just. All right.
It's bad when Tucker Carlson is like, this guy's a fucking piece of shit.
Dude, I'll tell you what. With Tucker, 90% of the time I watch him,
It's
I'm
garbage.
like, you're a fucking retard. But there's that 10% of the time where I'm kind of like, you know what?
The bow
Tucker,
tie comes off for a second. For real.
In this one instance, on this one issue where we agree, I like you. I mean, I guess it's pretty fucking.
Well, that's pretty much how I felt.
It's,
I'm
you
like,
know-
I normally can't stand fucking Tucker Carlson's
Oh, he
takes on
agrees
shit.
with me on this? Well, he must be right. Now I like him.
Well, he was a dick to John Bolton to his face. So I mean,
Oh, that's
gets
beautiful.
that gets some
All right,
points.
well, let's see that. Is that in this?
Yeah, just-
Okay, let's do
will
it.
be killed. The most basic of all questions, but
Let's go
a
ahead and
question
full
that's too
screen this
rarely
fucker.
asked by leaders contemplating war. 150 people wiped off the planet in retaliation for a broken drone. Every one of them, the president reminded his staff last night, someone with a family. The whole thing, in the end, offended his sense of decency.
Yeah, bullshit.
I mean,
Now we're really stretching.
yeah, you know, you're going a little far with it now. I mean, I'm glad Trump made the decision he did, but I don't know if I'd be
Yeah.
ascribing all this fucking moral goodness.
I don't know how
and
deep it
shit.
was.
Saint Trump, dude.
I think it was pretty much
God bless
gut
you,
level
sir.
kind of decision making like it normally is.
He said it seemed disproportionate, and it was. Moreover, airstrikes would have led to a wider conflict with Iran. That, of course, was the entire point of it. Policymakers in Washington crave a war with Iran. Last night was supposed to be the first domino. At the last minute, the president thwarted
Someone's phone going off in this studio?
their plans.
I don't know.
For that, he's being vilified.
Yeah, dude, it's weird.
Watch
It sounds
CNN
like they're not on the right mic.
Yeah.
Sounds like they're not on his lapel. They're on some kind of secondary mic or some shit.
Weird. Maybe there's a problem.
36-year-old national security analyst attacked the president for not killing enough people yesterday.
This is kind of a worst case scenario. The president is showing that he ostensibly made a decision, had a National Security Council meeting, and wasn't willing to follow through. Which, all in all, this shows gross disorganization and a president who can't seem to make up his mind, even on something as important as a military strike on Iran.
Yeah, I'm
So
so.
you should have done that.
I'm
That's
so
what you're saying.
it's so horrible that he decided not to kill those people.
Yeah, he should have bombed
What a
them.
monster! That's man of all the things to attack Trump on.
Not bombing a
Yeah,
country.
not killing
the
150 people for breaking our drone that was
That's the one.
violating their fucking airspace in the first place. Whatever. Fuck you, bitch.
I mean, I don't know. I have a hard time imagining if her family was one of those people that's going to be killed that she would have the same feelings about that. Oh, they should drop the bombs anyways. Oh, they're so disorganized. Like, what are you talking about?
Commit. If you're going to decide to kill a bunch of people, you got to commit to it.
You got to be committed to your fucking murdering of other people.
Only in foreign policy circles do people say things that stupid. In fact, last night was a high point in the Trump presidency. Bombing Iran would have ended his political career in a minute. There'd be no chance of re-election after that.
I don't know about that either. Americans love themselves a war, even if they fucking deny
Let's have a war.
Ill-advised wars are like doing cocaine. The initial rush rises your poll numbers, but the crash is inevitable. And in this
Damn.
That's a good point.
That's
Damn,
actually a pretty
Tucker.
good analogy. I would agree with that analogy.
case, it would be horrible. The hangover from an Iraq war would last years. Iran is not Syria.
still trying to
or
pull our
Iraq.
dick out of
It's
that.
a big, rich, sophisticated country with an ancient culture and a cohesive population. In some ways, it's an impressive place, not at all like the chintzy prefab capitals of the Arab world, like Riyadh or Dubai. We could beat Iran, but it would not be easy. It would cost trillions of dollars. Many thousands of Americans likely would die. China would love it. They'd be the only winners in that conflict. Donald Trump was elected president precisely to keep us out of disasters like war with Iran. So how did we get so close to starting one?
Bolton.
Was that Salvador shaking that, or was that somebody in that studio?
I don't know. Let's go back.
Precisely to keep us out of disasters like war with Iran. So how did we get so close to...
It's in there.
Somebody in that.
There is a dog in there somewhere.
Either a dog or like they're on the wrong mic for this fucking segment, dude.
Yeah,
This is
something's
crazy.
going on. That was in there. There's a dog somewhere in the studio that just
I
shook.
don't know.
What's going on?
starting one? Simple. The neocons still wield enormous power in Washington.
Maybe
They don't
someone
care.
captured this segment on a program like OBS or something, and they
Maybe.
accidentally had their own mic on too.
Maybe.
That could be it.
What the cost of a war with Iran is. They certainly don't care what the effect on Trump's political fortunes might be. They despise Donald Trump. Now, one of their key allies is the National Security Advisor of the United States. John Bolton is an old friend of Bill Kristol's. Together, they helped plan the Iraq War. When Bolton made it to the White House, the neocons cheered. Left-wing New York Times columnist Bret Stephens took a break from attacking Donald Trump to celebrate his hiring. Stephens assured MSNBC viewers that John Bolton was a great choice because he would push the president toward war.
He's not the sort of caricaturish hawk that he's been made out to be
Yes, he
in
is.
some corners of the press. I think someone like Bolton is going to...
Yeah, he totally fucking is.
Yes, he is.
You're
Yes.
a scum fuck piece of fucking dog shit motherfuck.
Oh, just a corporatist fucking fucktard dude that's like, it's just good.
You love war so much, why don't we fucking send your ass into a fucking
seriously.
war zone, you cocksucker?
Strap a gun on this motherfucker and drop him over there in Iran.
Well,
Go
not
do
the-
some damage.
Well, not necessarily this dude here, but the other dude.
Yeah, no, that's
No,
what I
not
meant.
this-
restrain
well,
the
I don't know.
isolationist
Maybe him too.
impulses that have been
We'll see.
Really at the heart of Trump's foreign policy thinking.
Got that? John Bolton is going to restrain Donald Trump from avoiding war. And of course, that's exactly what he's tried to do from the very first day. Shortly before Bolton took his new job, we invited him on this show and asked about some of his many, many previous foreign policy positions. Watch as Bolton denies ever being wrong, ever, about anything, not even a little bit. So you've called for regime change in Iraq, Libya, Iran, and Syria. In the first two countries, we've had regime change, and obviously it's been, I'd say, a disaster. I think we agree.
No, I don't agree with that. And let me.
You don't think it's...
Well, then
I don't agree.
I mean, like, you should that dismisses you from any fucking. You
should never
you're written
serve
off.
in U.S. government ever again, and in any capacity.
Yeah, you're delusional.
Yeah, I mean, you're basically insane. Like, this guy, if you think that was anything other than a disaster, you have no business having any position of power in government or influence in any sphere or corridor of power. You don't even. I wouldn't even trust you to manage a fucking Dunkin' Donuts, you weird looking fuck.
No.
It's been a disaster?
No, I think you need to understand is that life is complicated in the Middle East. And when you say, well, the overthrow of Saddam Hussein was a mistake, is simplistic.
I would argue that I'm the one who understands how complicated it is, but just my view.
It's your long experience in foreign policy, I know.
Better record than yours, I would say.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah, basically, any random American off the street has a better foreign policy record than John Bolton because none of them led us into a fucking hugely expensive quagmire of a fucking war, too.
And is
that
in total
both
denial about it.
destabilized regions of the Middle East and led to the creation of ISIS and all kinds of shit.
But both countries, by the way, which sandwiched the giant country that he now wants to bomb.
Yeah, he just wants the whole shebang.
It's almost like there was a plan all along to establish a bunch of American military presence in these two countries that fucking surround Iran, and there are bases outside of those countries as well. Pretty much every country that borders Iran has multiple American military bases in it.
Yeah,
They're destabilized.
I think we should invade John Bolton's house as a nation.
I don't want to.
I think the U.S. military needs to invade
I want to see
his
what's
home.
in there.
No, dude.
Why don't we just get the guillotine?
Got that?
Yeah, I did.
Hillary Clinton's toppling of the Libyan government was not a disaster, says John Bolton. Keep in mind there are literally slave markets operating in the streets of Tripoli.
By the way, not that it really matters, but you notice during that clip playing, we had none of this audio bullshit. This is actually a fucking problem in that studio.
It is, yeah. You're right.
No problem, though. Bolton's fine with that. He's fine with the outcome in Iraq, too. That wasn't a disaster either. According to John Bolton, it was a raging success. We killed hundreds of thousands of people, lost thousands.
I'm assuming that his lapel mic is not working, and there's some kind
There's probably some kind of backup like
boom,
boom that augments the way that he sounds. That's fully capturing everything.
Of our own troops spent more than $1 trillion, all to eliminate a WMD threat that, despite
I just
John
want to know
Bolton's
why there's a
assurances,
dog there.
never existed in the first place. Bolton is glad we did all that. Really happy about it.
Yeah. So Bolton sucks.
Yeah.
It makes me kind of like Tucker more to know that he's got a dog running around his studio when he's, you know?
That's kind of cool.
That's pretty awesome.
I wonder if it's his dog.
Yeah, maybe he just brings his dog to work and lets him roam around.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't he? I mean,
Pets him in between, commercial breaks.
He is
and
the
shit.
biggest name
That's
on.
cool.
I think he has the highest ratings on Fox.
Tucker,
right now,
I
doesn't he?
gotta admit, finally, after all these years, you're starting to crawl up out of the fucking hole of complete and utter fucking disdain that I had for you.
No, you'll watch him 5 minutes later. He'll be
don't
right
worry.
back to his
I don't
horrible
know.
self. But
I mean, look, dude, he's not out of it yet, but he's at least trying.
dude, I mean, I've seen. Look, this is not the first time I've totally agreed with the Tucker Carlson segment.
Me neither.
There have been other times when I've been like, you know what?
Every
He's
once
right.
in a while, he pulls a good take out of his ass, and I want to encourage that. So good
Yeah.
on you, Tucker.
Maybe one of these days you'll stop being a retard. The other 90% of the time.
Maybe you'll really
One
take
can
the bow
dream.
tie off one
Yeah.
of these days. For real.
let it go. McDonald's to scrap McFlurry lids and single-use plastic salad bowls, at least in the UK. McDonald's will remove plastic lids from its McFlurry ice cream desserts as part of a push to be more environmentally friendly, it has revealed. The change will come into force across all UK God damn it, what the fuck?
man,
Yeah, you're
Restaurants.
burpy today, man.
How is
What's
that
going on?
Dude, how is that McFlurry?
I don't know.
Is the McFlurry
Did you
good?
have a McFlurry right
No, I
before
didn't.
this, and it's giving you the burps?
No, I did go to Waffle House, though.
Oh, that's it.
From September,
house
the
burps.
fast food giant said. The announcement comes, I mean, basically, it's whatever. They're getting rid of the plastic lids on the McFlurries, which I always thought were kind of like, what are they there for anyway?
Why not
you know?
just do this everywhere, though? Why only the UK?
Yeah, I don't know. But I always wondered about those plastic lids. I'm like, do these even serve a purpose? They
Not
just
really.
seem kind of
It's just
there to be there.
They're mainly there so consumers are like, no one fucked with my McFlurry.
Yeah, it's like a dome of protection over your McFlurry.
I mean, it has a huge hole right in the top of it anyway, so
Right.
it's kind of just
It's to protect the whipped cream, TJ.
to protect it
Yes.
in case from interlopers and such.
Yes, for invaders.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand. Like, people are always like, every time one of these chains does this shit, like, that ain't gonna make no difference. That ain't gonna make no
Yes, it
difference.
will.
That ain't gonna make no difference. Look, I mean, like, if a bunch of chains start making these kind of little changes, it will eventually lead up to something of a difference. And I don't know if you know this, but there's a giant fucking continent of plastic in the oceans right now.
Yeah.
That we're kind of trying to figure out something to do about it.
I mean, this type of
So-
shit is such a half measure, though. Oh, one company getting rid of plastic straws.
Well, that's what. But you're committing the same fallacy I was just talking about, because like if across the board a bunch of little changes like this
Right.
happen, then that is ultimately less plastic in the fucking ocean.
Yeah, it is.
Now I'm not saying it's going to
just-
fix the problem.
No, it
'cause
isn't.
It ain't. but at least slow it down a little.
Well, the majority of the trash is coming from Southeast Asia and Africa.
Yeah, so it's not even Western
They ain't gonna do it over there.
But
it's just like down here. Like I was blown away when I moved to the South that styrofoam was still a thing.
Oh yeah, styrofoam.
Because I hadn't seen a styrofoam cup, plate, or container
right
in
here.
California since the
California,
80s.
Yeah, banned them a long time ago.
Right here, I got one.
Yeah, you got one. I mean, every place here does styrofoam. You know what I mean? And I thought that shit was gone forever. So that's what I'm talking about. It's just like one of these companies will do it. The other ones aren't because it's cheaper.
And plus, I don't even have a recycling thing.
And guess what? It's not
They don't do that here.
biodegradable.
Yeah, there's no-
Hooray!
There's no garbage.
This will be here forever. Yay!
I really do like a styrofoam cup, but I'm willing
No,
to
it
give
is. Dude, you could get a big soda in a styrofoam cup, leave it sitting on your desk for like 3 or 4 hours,
I know.
and pick it up, and it's still icy and fresh.
I mean, like, the ice in this cup has barely fucking melted at
Yeah.
all.
I mean,
Styrofoam is so good at insulating it
is.
compared to the plastics and shit we use.
No, it really
If we
is.
could just come up with a biodegradable version of this,
Yep.
that'd be fucking sick.
That's what we need.
That would be nice.
That's essentially what we need.
But a lot of the cups are paper cups, too. Those are not bad, I guess, but ice melts way faster in those.
That is true.
I mean, the real problem is that we have a convenience culture, and it's just like to actually address this problem, you have to address the core problem, which is convenience, and we're all guilty of it. It's like, oh, I'm thirsty. Let me get a bottle of water. It starts from then on, and just everything you do. If you look how much plastics we're using, even if you're trying to properly deal with it, we don't have the capacity to actually deal with and recycle all the plastics we use. In these other countries, like China, like Malaysia, and like Cambodia, all these countries that have been taking our trash for years are stopping that. It's all going to stop. Countries like Australia, our country, they have nowhere to take this plastic, so it's just stacking up. We're not recycling it. We can't recycle enough of it. I mean, we have to create biodegradable products. There's no other
Everything's
way.
wrapped in fucking plastic. Everything you go to the grocery store and buy has plastic.
100%.
100%. 100%. All right, so Palestinian boy loses leg after Israeli soldier shot him as he retrieved football.
Hey, protect the fucking border. You know what I mean? Protect the wall.
14-year-old Palestinian boy was forced to undergo a leg amputation after an Israeli soldier shot him as he retrieved a football near the separation wall in the West Bank.
Awesome.
Well, that'll teach you, you little shit. I mean, obviously this kid was a threat to Israel, dude, and
Yes.
they were just defending their sovereignty. Oh shit, a 14-year-old trying to get a ball. Attack!
Kill
Attack!
him.
A 14-year-old Palestinian boy was forced to undergo a leg amputation after an Israeli soldier shot him as he retrieved a football near the separation wall in the occupied West Bank. According to Defense for Children, DCIP, 14-year-old Mahmoud Salah from Al-Qadar village was playing football, that means soccer, by the way, with friends on the evening of 21st of May when he went to fetch the ball. An Israeli soldier then shot him in the leg with live ammunition, after which the boy testified 2 soldiers approached and kicked him.
Awesome.
So this is pretty fucking standard shit. I mean, I read stories like this all the time. I normally don't pull them, but you know what? Because I'm kind of scared of Israel and how powerful they are in this country. But fuck it, whatever. We've already been demonetized. So.
I mean, there's a reason to pull shit like this too, because we're talking about building a giant fucking separating wall in this country. We're actually building it slowly,
very, very fucking slowly,
painfully slowly. But and this is really the end result of that kind of divisiveness of two populations.
I'm just
you
shocked
try
that
and
you
put up a
guys-
barrier. You put people with guns on it, and shit like this is going to happen.
I mean, like, you're a fucking armed soldier, okay? You see a fucking 14-year-old boy.
Fire.
Like, how do you feel that that's a threat that's even remotely worthy of you firing off a round?
And then going and kicking him.
And then you go to him and start kicking him like fucking little
TJ.
piece of shit.
I'm unsure right now why you're doing this anti-Semitic podcast of yours, TJ. And I really just don't understand, TJ. Israel's right to defend itself. This child, alleged child, I mean, is more of a man.
Child.
It's like a grown man attacked the wall and the border.
A thug.
A thug, and was probably
Palestinian
throwing rocks.
thug?
What was he doing before? Oh, retrieving a football. It sounds like a convenient excuse, and they're just trying
We thought the football was a bomb.
The Jewish state is under threat, TJ, constantly, every day, and you're just an anti-Semite attacking it.
I don't understand the rabid defense of everything Israel in this country. I never have.
If Israel does something fucked up, it did something fucked up.
Right.
it's we can't just say, oh, it's anti-Semitic to say they fucking shot some kid. There's really no good reason why they did it.
And I don't even really like dipping my toe into the Israel-Palestine discussion, and I very rarely do, and I'm not going to do it here, simply because it's one of those things it's almost toxic to discuss with people.
Oh God,
because it's designed to be divisive and to have no real answer
your team.
that's acceptable. You know what I mean?
Choose your side.
And the whole history of Israel and its founding and all of the, it's one of those discussions that I feel it doesn't even pay to have with people in a casual way, and so I don't.
It's so complex and messy. There's no way to just succinctly talk about it without invoking like very harsh emotional
So let's read a little bit
responses.
here. During his hospital stay, Muhammad was guarded by Israeli border police, and one of his arms was handcuffed to the bed. 4 days after being shot, Israeli forces interrogated Muhammad and accused him of throwing Molotov cocktails. Muhammad denied the accusations, DCIP reported, and refused to sign a statement in Hebrew that the interrogator ordered him to sign. He was released from detention on 31st January and remained in hospital until 3rd of February for further treatment. According to DCIP, since 2014, Israeli forces have increasingly targeted Palestinian children with intentional lethal force, often in the context of protests. Between January and May 2019, DCIP has documented 55 cases of Palestinian children injured by live ammunition at the hands of Israeli forces.
Well, I would say he was a child. I'd say he's a teenager. You can argue that is a child, but
Whatever.
I think child evokes something different. Like,
there's
a
emotional
5-year-old.
interplay even on that side. That's why I hate this fucking topic, because even in this article, you can see the bias of whoever wrote it.
Yeah.
In calling him a child, because that evokes a toddler, toddling around after a ball. This is, and then by giving those numbers, look, the fact of the matter is, and I'm not taking a pro-Israel position here, but it's true, oftentimes these insurgent type of forces use younger men to throw Molotovs and strap bombs to themselves and shoot guns and stuff. So some of those injuries of children by Israeli forces might have been actually in defense of, having a Molotov thrown at them or some shit. And none of that's mentioned here.
And that's why it's a complicated
It's why it's a
situation,
poisonous fucking topic.
Yeah,
honestly,
it is.
because nobody talks reality when it comes to Israel-Palestine. This story right here is a huge question mark, if we're honest. The Israelis say he was chucking fucking Molotovs. The kid says he wasn't. The truth is somewhere lost in the middle of those two
what
things.
The reality is, and the sad reality is, it's the truth. The only truth I can honestly glean when I talk with these stories is I don't want to take a side. It's just that there's massive human suffering. It's massive, just like on the Palestinian side, poverty.
Yes,
it's just terrible. I mean,
yes.
Honestly, take the politics out of it, and it's just it's a massive human suffering, and that's just the worst part about it.
Mm-hmm.
Buttigieg is confronted by protesters after fatal police shooting.
Oh, shit, Buttigieg. Where were the Buttigieg boys to help him?
I don't know. They're not there.
God damn it, Buttigieg boys.
They're dropping
they
the
beat
booty.
it.
Get your baby blue Buttigieg boys hat on and fucking get out there and defend your
You know
man.
what happened, though, Paul? Black Lives Matter showed up, and they no, sir.
Oh, they deferred.
You have to defer at that point. You got to step off.
South Bend, Indiana. Mayor Pete Buttigieg was confronted by protesters Friday night as the presidential hopeful and his city continue to grapple with the fallout from a fatal police shooting of a black man. Man, Buttigieg must hate that fucking cop, dude. He's like, God damn it, I do not need this.
So can we see the protesters here confronting him?
Give me 1 second. About 150 protesters approached Buttigieg and police chief Scott Ruskowski with a litany of demands from firing police officers to requiring more training programs for officers, according to the South Bend
Those
Tribune.
two demands seem pretty reasonable.
Yeah, that doesn't really seem like that unreasonable. Maybe it is. Let's see.
Fire the cop that killed the...
One, we demand that Officer O'Neill and Officer Nepper be fired immediately.
Okay, well, no, they have a due process.
Yeah, I mean,
what you're saying,
right.
that you're an idiot.
You don't just fire them immediately without...
You can't. You can't legally just fire someone like that.
Yeah, I mean, they have to go through the due process of law. They're entitled to it just like any citizen is.
Correct.
Which, I mean, cops are citizens too, but you know what I mean. What do you say? That's so low.
Must be treated fairly. That racism.
Okay.
Standard fucking...
Yeah,
So I can
just
barely-
boilerplate.
They can barely hear him.
Boiler-
It's just bad audio.
boilerplate,
I
fucking
think
talk.
it's audio.
We
problem.
want this.
Turn it up as much as I can.
Has zero place
Zero.
in our police department.
Okay. So platitudes. I mean, that's,
what about the Hail Satan thing? What the hell is that?
Hail Satan? What?
Hail Satan opening prayer at what?
Huh? Oh, over here. I mean, that's what are you fucking so easily distracted? I'll open it for the next one, I guess. The rally was one of several events that have been held since blah 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 blah. There was a much better video of this where like he was actually confronted by someone who maybe it's this woman here.
Where's the chief of police? We got questions for him. Where's the chief of police? You the mayor, you can go get the chief of police. Where he at? And they searched my daughter, and then they took her to jail, and then they turned around and had the nerve.
Process to rewrite the rules on.
Who edited this?
I don't know. It is crazy.
It's a mess.
Whoever works for the Hill needs to be fired.
All right, abort. Hail Satan opening prayer at Alaska government meeting prompts walkouts protest.
Yes.
Nice.
I love these.
Is there video of this? Will it be choppily edited? There's no video.
There's no video.
Well, we can read about it.
Okay, if you want. Several attendees at a government meeting open to the public in Alaska walked out in protest after an opening prayer praised Satan.
Yes.
The Associated Press reports the prayer where a woman declared Hail Satan was given by Satanic Temple member Iris Fontana, who won the right to open the meeting with an invocation of her choice.
These stupid
That which will not bend must break, and that which can be destroyed by truth should never be spared as demise. It is done. Hail Satan. Fontana said to the opening meeting.
I love these people, man. I love how these people go and troll these uptight Christian assholes. They could do their fucking prayer evocations every time they have one of these fucking city hall meetings or government meetings. And they go and just like, oh, actually, you know what?
Hail Satan.
Because remember the Supreme Court ruled that you can do this, but you can't discriminate what religion it is. So obviously a bunch of atheists, they're the Satanists, quote
That's
unquote.
Holy shit. Look at all the comments.
Damn,
5,000
dude.
fucking comments, dude.
I bet there are
Radical atheists.
Most of them are probably butthurt. Or maybe their comment section doesn't work. Good old The Hill.
Come on, Hill.
The Hill sucks.
All right, no more The Hill stories.
Yeah,
Hill's
ban
just-
The Hill.
Come on.
They blow.
We want to read the comments.
I want to see what the
Yeah,
5,000
show
comments
us 5,000 comments of butthurt Christians
are.
whining
Oh,
about
man. Come
religious
on,
expression
dude.
and freedom.
Let me in.
Oh, well.
Oh, well, it's not working.
Fuck you, The Hill.
Yeah, the Hill's
All right,
just
the Hill
garbage.
sucks. No more hills. President Trump shares bonkers video showing him as president forever. So Trump actually tweeted this out.
Wow.
Let me just go ahead and make it fucking big.
Trump
Is the
forever.
internet down or something? What's going on here?
Yeah, what's
it?
What's happening, TJ?
It's going real slow. Here we go.
God damn it, TJ.
I didn't do it.
Hey, you did.
All right, so here's Trump's tweet, and it shows, you can see.
Oh, it's the
eyeballs.
infinity mirror of Trump forever, or what?
Yeah, Trump 2040, Trump 2044, 48. Keep going, 52, 56, 60, 64, 68, 72, 78. It's going too fast now. Oh, my God. Trump for 1,000 years, 1,000.
Dude, Trump's going to be president in fucking... Damn.
Oh, my God.
The year... what
Oh,
the fuck?
shit. Oh, my God. Eternal. The eternal Trump.
Oh, my God, please, no. Grandpa Trump, no. This is a bad thing. This is a bad aspiration to have.
The 30-second clip reportedly created by a pro-Trump meme maker was based on a Time magazine cover and accompanying video from 2018 that made the case for why Trumpism will outlast
Yeah,
Trump.
forever.
It ended with Trump standing behind a lectern bearing the sign Trump Forever. Time tweeted its original version to the president in response. He said the animation you shared is a manipulated version of the October 22nd, 2018 cover of Time. Here is the real one.
I don't think he cares.
Yeah,
No one gives a
I don't
shit.
think anyone cares. I think everyone understood that.
Yeah.
Trump's decision to post the clip amid escalating U.S. tensions with Iran and a new rape allegation against him, which the president has denied.
I didn't even hear about that.
Oh, we'll talk about it in a little bit. Did not go over well with many other tweeters. So blah, blah, blah. There's fascism and blah, 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 blah. So what do you guys make of it?
I don't care. I mean, Trump tweeted a meme.
Yeah.
He's done it a million times. I don't care. Who
Trump-
cares?
It's just
Tweet
something
me.
that sucks Trump's dick. Of course he's going to fucking like it and fucking
Yeah,
retweet
I mean,
it.
he literally can't become the eternal president. So, I don't know. What are people worried that he's like trying to circumvent term limit laws or some shit.
Yeah.
It's just clickbait.
That's so stupid.
It's just some fucking Huffington Post clickbait. That's all it is.
Parents upset after students pictured in MAGA hats on a school field trip.
Oh, no.
Not
Who
that.
cares?
Anything but that.
Not the right to wear the clothing you choose. Oh!
Some New Jersey parents have expressed upset after a handful of 8th grade students were pictured wearing Make America Great Again hats
A bunch of edgelords
on a school field trip.
So a bunch of edgelords have MAGA hats, basically.
Students from Avon Elementary School in Monmouth County were on an end-of-the-year trip to Washington, D.C., during which several students purchased red hats
That's for the fucking
as
lols.
souvenirs. Avon School District Superintendent Christopher Albizarro, or whatever, tells Yahoo Lifestyle there were no disruptions on the trip as the result of the hats. Wow, yeah, because they're hats. Why would there be? However, once parents saw photos of the students on an internal site, some expressed concern.
What are they concerned about?
The photos with the hats, which feature the slogan associated with President Donald Trump, were addressed in multiple emails sent to the school board from parents. The issue was also brought up in a June 12th Board of Education meeting. Oh my God. During the meeting, the board recognized that students have the right to express themselves, and they do not believe students wearing the hats nor the post violated board policy. Al Bizarro explained in a statement.
Man, there's some bored-ass fucking parents out there.
Oh!
Just
Mama,
get a fucking hobby outside of helicoptering your child,
My
please.
kid went on a field trip, and some of the other students decided to buy MAGA hats, and they were near them, and I don't like that. It was a school trip. Please ban them.
I mean, usually I'm on the side of parents when they go up against the school board, but this is an example of the school board having to deal with some fucking stupid bullshit. Go back, just go, like I said, pick up pottery or something.
He's the fucking president of the United States, whether you like it or not. People are allowed to support the president
And
if
it's a
they
hat.
fucking want to. And it's just a stupid hat, and they probably, most of the kids that bought it only wore it because they knew it would trigger retards like this anyway.
Yep.
Precisely.
So maybe stop being so butthurt and sensitive. It's not a fucking Klan hoodie.
Yeah.
It's a goddamn hat that says Make America Great Again.
I mean, if this hat has any power, it's conferred by the people that react the way they do to it.
100%.
Absolutely. Trump denies knowing New York woman accusing him of sexual assault.
I don't know the man.
This article, I read her story, and I thought that it fucking reeked. But obviously, you can't make truth judgments based on that sort of gut feeling
You
intuitions.
have to,
but-
TJ, you have to believe women, though.
Right.
Believe the victim, TJ.
Yeah, so no matter how preposterous it seemed, I mean, like, okay,
Yes.
so...
What's the story?
Well, President Donald Trump says a New York-based advice columnist who claims he sexually assaulted her in a Manhattan department store dressing room in the mid-1990s made a totally false accusation against him and denied knowing the woman. I have no idea who this woman is, Trump said Saturday as he left the White House for Camp David presidential retreat.
Oh, good. They're sending him to Grandpa Island to...
The president scoffed when questioned about a photo of himself with his accuser, Jean Carroll, which New York Magazine published on its website along with Carroll's description of the alleged assault by Trump. Also in the photo were Trump's then-wife, Ivana Trump, and Carroll's then-husband, New York newscaster John Johnson.
Man, these guys...
Terrible name.
Yeah, they get around, don't they?
Standing with my coat on in a line, give me a break, Trump said of the 1987 Kodo, with my back to the camera.
It's called a Kodo?
Photo.
Photo? Did I say Kodo?
You said Kodo, yeah.
I don't know why. Probably because I was still looking at coat, I guess. The allegation against Trump is included in Carroll's upcoming book about the hideous men. The Elle magazine columnist says she has encountered throughout her life. Trump also accused New York Magazine of publishing Carroll's claims against him and others to boost its readership.
Money.
Well, yeah.
Money.
Trump's first comment came... So I read her story, and it's kind of fucking
It
preposterous.
says right here.
Yeah.
This
It says a friendly encounter with Trump at Bergdorf Goodman in 1995 or 96 turned violent when the real estate mogul pushed her up against a dressing room wall, unzipped his pants, and forced himself on her. So he just fucked her right there?
Yeah. Right in the dressing room.
She says that in a colossal struggle, she pushed
I
him
guess
off
he
and
never
ran to
got
the
his
store.
dick inside, but he tried.
Okay.
So Trump's just like, I will now push this 50-something-year-old woman at the time into a dressing room and assault her, I guess. I mean, it could happen. It could have happened.
It could have happened, but not to mention...
It just kind of seems
Isn't it
weird?
Convenient timing that she has a book that's about to come out on this subject, and it's like, oh, and by the way, now
How
I'm
do
in
I
the
get
news.
attention for this book I'm writing about how horrible men are?
Just like Chris Kattan suddenly was, he was raped too, or he was, forced to have sex with a director.
It's kind of weird how all these B-listers and shit, when they need to fucking sell their book, all of a sudden it's like, oh yeah, by the way, powerful, important person.
This very well could have happened, though. I don't want to disparage the victim of a crime if this did indeed happen, but it does seem strangely convenient that she's writing a book about how horrible men are and waited until now to reveal it. It does seem strangely convenient that she waited until he was president of the United States to reveal this. But once again, being a victim of a sexual assault, when you tell people about it, is up to you. So
right, and I mean, it doesn't pass the smell test for me, but you can't really use that as a barometer of truth. And obviously, it could have happened. There's nothing about the story that's impossible.
No.
But it's just, I don't know. I'm skeptical.
So, of course, no witnesses there. It says Carol said there were no attendants in the dressing room, and she did not file a report with the Newark Police Department.
Okay. Well,
So-
it's just
Basically,
I guess it's
hearsay.
just a story.
She told two journalist friends who said contact the police if this is what happened, but...
Yeah, she said one of her friends said to contact the police, and the other one said, no, he's too powerful. So she didn't. It's, I mean, he is a powerful man even then, so there's logic to that, I guess. California to illegal pot shops. We're coming for you.
Oh, shit.
Coming for you.
Uh-oh.
They're going to kick in the doors.
Illegal pot shops.
Los Angeles, California is planning to intensify its enforcement against the state's thriving illegal marijuana market, including launching an ad campaign Friday that urges consumers to seek out licensed shops with safe products. The state has been under pressure by the legal industry to do more to stop the illicit pot economy, which in Los Angeles and other cities often operates in plain sight. According to some estimates, up to 80% of sales in the state remain under the table, snatching profits from legal storefronts. So these people who went through the trouble of starting these legal shops are now like, no, shut down the black market because we want all that money.
Right.
We're going to have a more aggressive enforcement stance to come after the illegal market, Lori Ajax, the state's top cannabis regulator, said in the industry forum. The state announced it was kicking off a public information campaign, #WeedWise, that encourages consumers to verify their purchases are tested and legal.
Well, it's obvious.
I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to go to whatever fucking pot shop I want to go to, and I don't really care because I'm there to buy weed, which isn't going to hurt me. So how about that? I don't care about this shit, honestly. Like this is like why if you're going to truly legalize recreational cannabis, you need to start treating it like what it is, a plant you can grow in your fucking backyard and trade freely with it, whoever you want. It's not going to hurt you. Yeah, you can't give it to kids, maybe, because it'll get you high. But other than that, doesn't need to be enforced at all.
But do you know what's hiding in your counterfeit edibles, one ad asks?
Oh, my God. All right, yeah, because people are going to get a lot of repeat customers by killing people with their edibles. It is not hard to make edible.
It's actually full of Drano.
I've made edibles myself. I've eaten homemade edibles more times than I can count. This is not something that you can fuck up. There's no reason to add some illicit chemical to a brownie recipe. Literally, all you're doing is taking the fucking THC and out of the bud and putting it into your fucking brownie mix.
It should be regulated the same way that other food and drug products are regulated already. That's how it should be regulated. Just like if you go buy alcohol, it should be the same fucking process. It shouldn't be some magical thing that's like, okay, now here's look, California. The reason why people are buying it underground still is obvious, because they don't want to pay the high taxes, and it's so plentiful there. They know they can get it cheaper.
Right.
It's obviously an economic decision.
Judge orders special prosecutor to examine Smollett probe. Now, I've kind of gone past giving a shit about this, but I thought it was at least kind of interesting because I did talk about it, that I might as well follow up here. But a judge decided to appoint a special prosecutor Friday to investigate the decision by Cook County prosecutors to dismiss all charges against actor Jussie Smollett, who was accused. We all know the story of what happened.
Yes.
So basically, the charges were dismissed, and a lot of people were pretty upset by that because it seemed pretty fucking clear by the time that the charges were dismissed that there should have been charges.
Yeah, he wasted the
if
time
you
of
go
law
down-
enforcement.
He lied to people. What, Scotty?
Well, if you go down it, Fox have been in contact with the relative of the actor and been approached by the former First Lady Michelle Obama's one-time chief of staff on behalf of Smollett's family, and she explained at the time that she was recusing herself to avoid even the perception of a conflict of interest. So basically, the person who was the county's state attorney, Kim Fox, has a very close relationship with people closely associated with the Smollett family. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's definitely a conflict of interest there. Her dismissing the charges seems kind of outrageous.
Yeah, and Smollett also has connections to, like, Jesse Jackson and a lot of fucking powerful people. State's attorneys are clearly not meant to have unbridled authority to appoint special prosecutors, he said. She appointed her top assistant to the office to an entity that she has that has no legal existence. There isn't an office of the acting state's attorney. It existed only in the imagination of Miss Fox. So basically, they pulled a lot of strings to get this guy out of trouble, and now people are trying to unpull those strings and get him back into trouble.
Good.
And that's probably appropriate because what he did was really fucked up and divisive, not only in Chicago, right, but in the entire fucking country.
Well, what she did is an act of total corruption.
Right.
I mean, if this had been any other person that didn't have these special connections, they would be charged with a crime and would be standing trial for those crimes.
Yeah, I mean, if I was to falsely report that I was attacked on the street by two black dudes who, said was like, take this, whitey, or whatever the fuck, and it turned out that I made up the whole thing to get attention.
That's
I'd
the
be in
real
trouble.
extra thing here is he's clearly used this as a way to elevate his name to the national consciousness, and he's clearly benefited monetarily and otherwise from this false accusation that he made, false police report that he made,
Especially before people realize.
in a way that an average person weren't. So I think he's even more culpable as a public figure for making an outlandish and outrageous lie up, and then wasting the time of law enforcement officials to enrich himself.
And ratcheting up tensions in the country
Right.
that's already divided.
Fomenting dissent in an already divided country. Yeah, he needs to be tried for this.
And acting like the cover-up, basically the corrupt cover-up is a endorsement of his innocence as well. Like, oh, no, I'm still innocent. No, all the evidence against you still stands. Like, you basically want people to believe this long assault happened in a span, I think of there's 1 minute. That wasn't of his time.
Two random white Trump supporters showed up and beat me up, and then somehow my two black friends had messages from me about them beating me up, and they had all this stuff that I said that the attackers had and all this. But
it's just ridiculous.
There's mountains of evidence that show that I hired these two guys to beat me up in order to raise my profile and get a higher paycheck on Empire and whatever the hell else. But we're just going to ignore all that. I'm vindicated because the charges were dropped because I know people.
Yeah, I have political connections.
Yeah, so whatever. Fuck him. Hopefully this special prosecutor will reestablish these charges. What the hell's this? Get off of here. Cardi B indicted on felony charges in connection with strip club attack.
Uh-oh.
We were just talking about Cardi the other day. Well, they haven't seen that yet, but Monday they will. Cardi allegedly ordered her associates to attack two bartenders at a Queens, New York strip club last year.
Isn't that the best way to do it, though?
Yeah.
Apparently not.
Have your thugs beat people
I mean,
up.
yeah, she's being charged with it, but one, she's rich and famous, so she'll probably get out of it. And two, she doesn't even get her hands dirty.
Huh.
So a grand jury has indicted Cardi B in connection with an alleged attack at a Queens, New York strip club in August of 2018, TMZ and ABC News report. The indictment includes 2 felony counts of intent to cause serious physical injury, and according to TMZ and New York State court records viewed by Pitchfork, whatever. In addition, Cardi has been indicted on 6 misdemeanor and 6 violations, according to the records. The indictment includes the previous charges of misdemeanor assault and reckless endangerment. The grand jury returned its indictment after Cardi B rejected a plea deal back in April. Court records indicate that Cardi B is due in court on Tuesday, June 25th for arraignment. Pitchfork has reached out to representatives and attorneys for Cardi B. The alleged incident involved 2 bartenders at Angel Strip Club in New York who claim that Cardi B ordered her associates to attack them with bottles and chairs, according to TMZ. In an October statement to the Associated Press, Cardi's attorney Jeff Kern said that he is aware of no evidence that Cardi caused anybody harm.
Very
So very careful wording there.
Free Cardi B.
I'm not aware of any evidence. Yeah.
Free Cardi B, dude.
Well, she's not even in jail.
Look, dude, she's a rapper. She's going to order her fucking bodyguards to beat people up every once in a while. You just got to accept this.
Look,
you know?
if she does it too many times, maybe we could talk some charges then. But I mean,
right.
At least 5 or 6 times a year, she gets a pass.
Right. Once in a while in a strip club, she's going to have her guys beat somebody up because they pissed her off. It's, you know.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you want to enjoy hip-hop, you know, then you got to accept that stuff like this happens.
She raps about how she does shit like this all the time, and you love it. So, come on.
Yeah, I mean,
give her a pass.
What the fuck's your problem, huh? What are we advocating for here? Anyway, that's pretty much the show. This has been an extra helping of Flash Fried. As you guys know, we don't normally do these on. Probably should have said this at the beginning, but whatever. We don't normally do Flash Frieds on Saturday, but we did it this Saturday because we love you, and also because we had a promotion where we said we were going to give you double helpings of shit. So
yep,
you gotta get it.
That's your first double helping. One more Flash Fried than you normally get. Hope you enjoyed it. Peace.